please go to James's great website, www.jesuspolice.com, or get his wonderful book, Jesus Who. What would you say was the most shocking thing you discovered about the historical Jesus?
That everything I knew was wrong. As a matter of fact, everything that everybody knows about Jesus turns out to be wrong. Part of a myth or part of propaganda or just foolishness, sheer foolishness. Everybody who's ever written a book about Jesus has got all these errors in them. If you believe he was killed by the Jews and then he was hung, it's just not that he was crucified. Well, when you took him down from the cross, he wasn't really dead. Therefore, what you call a resurrection is simply a resuscitation. Jesus, he fainted. They took him down. He got revived. Joseph and Mary were two hot little Jewish kids, and they couldn't wait. They had promiscuous sex. The wedding at Cana, the mother is bossing servants around. If it's his wedding, it makes a lot more sense. And this may just be another instance in which the original gospel had this as Jesus' marriage. He wasn't from Nazareth. There is no town. It doesn't exist. But he's not from Bethlehem either. There are several rival Christian groups purposefully distorting the Gospels and changing them or inserting things. Jesus, he's not particularly attractive. Jesus consists of portraits of several Joshuas who lived at that time. There's not a single Jesus. By the time the Gospels are written down in the 2nd century, these stories are just floating out there, and they make one composite person out of him. They made the mistake translating Mary, who was a young girl. They translate that as a virgin. The guys who write these Gospels come up with a story, so they're trying to say, okay, what do we see in the Old Testament that we can make Jesus' life conform to? Over here it says Bethlehem. Okay, let's put him in Bethlehem. There was no census when Jesus was born. It's an obvious fabrication. People, when they had a census, people registered where they lived. Nobody went back to where they were born. No one in their right mind would bring a pregnant wife from Galilee to Bethlehem, would have exposed them to heat and rough terrain and robbers. It's just not what happens. Matthew, Luke, and John, they are answering criticisms that Jesus is an illegitimate child of Mary's adultery. Not only is he not a savior, but he didn't even have a father. He's cursed. And therefore they decide to clarify that this is, a virgin birth. If he's a savior and all these other pagan saviors have virgin births, you got to have a virgin birth.